Follow us on Twitter at 1450 WCTC. Jersey Central with Bert Barron on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
8:37. We are back on Jersey Central on WCTC. Good morning. It's Bert's. We're going to get a traffic and weather update for you. Another one at 8:45. We'll do our need to know things coming up sometime in this 8:30 half hour as well. And our phone number, as always, 732-545-9282. Or toll free at 888-545-9282. Well, a brand new survey of consumers and human resource managers finds that important issues like harassment and equal pay for women in the workplace should be a priority for businesses. I can't help but agree. And joining me this morning on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline to share some insights on the survey as well as some of the other findings, we have two top experts with me on business ethics. First, we have Jane Randel, co-CEO of social impact consultancy for Karp Randel. She's also the co-founder of No More, which is a global initiative to prevent domestic violence and sexual assault. And also with us is Catherine Hernandez-Blades, Chief Brand and Communications Officer for Aflac, which is a company that has made the Ethisphere, the list of the world's most ethical companies, 12 consecutive times. And good morning, ladies. Thank you both for being here today. I greatly appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you.
Catherine, let's start with you. Talk about why it's important to conduct research on corporate social responsibility. Why has this become such a priority?
It began for us 4 years ago. We decided to survey and take the pulse of America on the importance of corporate social responsibility to consumers. And then, because of the insights we gained the past 2 years, we've actually surveyed the analyst and investor community, both private and institutional investors, to figure out where they're investing their dollars. But with everything going on in society and culture today, particularly in light of the Me Too movement, we decided this year to focus on sexual harassment in the workplace. And it was very enlightening.
That's exactly where I was going to go, Catherine. I'm so glad you brought that up. But I can't help but feel that the Me Too movement has absolutely had an impact on this year, on this study here. Can you share some of the other key findings that Me Too has kind of opened your eyes up to?
Well, I think the most interesting for me as a person working in corporate America has to do with the fact that human resources departments think they're doing a great job in communicating and having policies to avoid sexual harassment in the workplace. As a matter of fact, almost 90% of them surveyed said they're doing a great job. But conversely, when you ask their employees if their companies even had a sexual harassment policy, almost 45% said no. They were not aware of any sexual harassment policy. So there's a huge disconnect between what senior leaders are thinking and what their employees are internalizing.
That is very telling because, you know what, thinking you're doing a great job and actually doing a great job are two very, very different things. And I think it's time that people woke up and realized that. That's very important. Jane, for you, what does the survey talk about employees and the ethics of their respective companies? This had to be some eye-opening information for you, too, with this survey.
Absolutely. The survey shows that companies have a lot of room for improvement when it comes to not only acting and behaving ethically and responsibly in the workplace, but telling their employees about it. You know, Catherine showed you this huge disconnect, and it's very common about lots of different issues. Companies tend to do a lot of good in the world, perhaps, but not tell their most important ambassadors, which are their employees. So there's really a lot that has to be done in that area, and something that Aflac actually happens to do very well.
I spent a lot of time on this program, Jane, talking about millennials in the workplace and, you know, what we can expect as time kind of moves on. And the baby boomers, like some people that listen to this program, are kind of leaving the working world. And those new generations now are kind of coming on over and taking things over. And the entire culture, and it seems like the way that business gets done anymore and anything is really just so different now with millennials and this new generation of people kind of taking over. Share some things that you've seen in the landscape of corporate social responsibility when it comes to this kind of generational swing that we're seeing.
Well, it's a generational swing that I am particularly happy about because it's an issue that I care greatly about. But millennials and younger employees want to work for companies that are doing good in the world. They want to feel that when they walk in the door every day, they're not putting their own integrity and ethics beside themselves as they walk in the door. They want to feel like the companies they're going to do good. And so that means that if you want to retain and attract talent, which, as you said, as baby boomers are leaving, it's very important to note that and know that not only do you have to do that good in the world, you have to make sure you tell your own employee base that you're doing it.
Yeah, that's very true. And I've even heard people say to me that, don't be surprised if in the process of an employee search or a job interview, where someone you're talking to might actually say, talk about some of the philanthropic work that this company does. Do you help to feed hungry people? Do you help homeless people? Do you work with people with special needs? Talk about, your socially environmental footprint, which I think is becoming such a prevalent thing nowadays that, any employer should not be surprised if a prospective employee asks them that question. That's for sure. Catherine, talk about today, right now, Friday, August 17th. Talk about something that a company could focus on today to make themselves a little bit more socially responsible. How does it start?
Well, it starts with authenticity. It has to be in alignment with your core values, with your brand promise, and certainly with what your employees would like to be engaged in. Philanthropy, governance, environmental issues, whatever works for you, as long as it's authentic, because people can smell a phony a mile away.
Yep, no question about that. And Jane, when I had introduced the two of you today, I mentioned something about No More and the global initiative and what that's all about. Talk about the origins of that and how that's progressing and what the mission of No More is.
Sure. No More was really created to be a unifying global initiative, bringing together all the domestic violence, sexual assault organizations across the country and now really across the world, and reaching with people from all sorts of communities to amplify and grow the movement to end and prevent, frankly, domestic violence and sexual assault. And we use media, entertainment, sports, technology, any kind of way that we can get some collective action to really engage in this issue and get more people involved.
Terrific. And where can someone go to get some more information on that?
They can go to nomore.org.
Excellent. Catherine and Jane, thank you both for being on the program today. Some very, very good information. And whatever we can do to just make things better for everybody, a more equal, an equal society, an equal environment, one that's harassment-free. I mean, how great would that be for everybody? But you're both doing great work, and I thank you both for being on the program this morning, all right?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, my guests there on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline, which is brought to you by Blackthorn Restaurant on Church Street in New Brunswick, Jane Randel. She's the co-founder of No More, that global initiative to prevent domestic violence and sexual assault. And also Catherine Hernandez-Blades, who is a leading chief brand and communications officer, one of the best ones in the entire country. Some very good information from them here today here on Jersey Central and WCTC. Wow. 732-545-9282.